Hey everybody, welcome back to Blushing Nerd Tarot. I wanted to do a little video on the Woodland Wardens Oracle that I just received yesterday. I'm pretty excited. I've seen this on several channels, and as I've mentioned, I don't have that many Oracle decks. I'm not going to be able to say that too much longer. That collection keeps expanding, but there's a lot of interesting stuff out there, and I've really been enjoying how it can enhance tarot readings. Just just really fun stuff. So anyway, I thought I'd just hop on and do a little bit of a deck test drive with this. And before I get into that, I would like to do a channel shout out as well. Krista from the channel Adventures in Metaphysics just does such a wonderful job creating content. She creates a lot of videos and just does it's just a great casual, warm feeling that all sorts of topics of discussion. She covers what it's like to be a deck collector and tarot reader who has ADHD, for instance, and a lot of what she said really resonates with me in that vein. And then she also has a beautiful Etsy shop. I'll link that as well, where she does readings and has tarot pouches and nice selection of things there. But I really thought, one of the things that's important to me is just expressing gratitude for the people that have inspired me to go down this path. And of course, I've mentioned Simon from the Hermit's Cave, and there are so many others, but he actually did a shout out to Krista's channel as well. I believe it was on a Cup of Ketchup and Cards, maybe a couple of months ago. And so I, of course, went over and checked out her channel and just have really enjoyed all of her content. So definitely encourage you to go over there and do a sub and watch her wonderful stuff. So, but anyway, she does a lot with animal work, and so that's sort of has inspired me down this path. Working more with the oak, ash, and thorn, which I had and loved, and then incorporating maybe some other ways to think about that as well. The Woodland Wardens seem like a really good fit, and I've seen clips of the artwork. Jessica Rue is the artist who created this deck. I believe she's from Tennessee in the States. This is published by Andrews McMeel, printed in China. But really nice presentation. The box is, a super nice two-part with the thumb cutouts, so you can access it quite easily. But there's just great little details that I really enjoy all throughout. So this deck test drive thing, I don't know exactly where I want to go with it, but I do like the idea of maybe a twist on what would be a walkthrough or a review of a deck is just to introduce folks to the deck for anyone that hasn't seen it yet, but not necessarily do a full walkthrough, and then maybe take, if there happens to be some example spreads that the author or creator would like to illustrate, maybe that's a good opportunity to try out a spread that they think was specifically suited to this deck. And there may be instances as well where I'll just do a standard spread, one of the ones that I would typically pick, if it seems like it would fit the deck well. So in this case, I did briefly look through this, and I just opened this yesterday, and just flipped through it a little bit. But so we have the contents here. There's an introduction, how to use the cards and guidebook, suggested spreads, and then we have a breakdown leading to each of the cards. So if we go to an example card, you get, I believe it's just 2 pages for each card. You get a picture of the card, and then meaning, new opportunities, so the hare and the oak. What can I celebrate today? So maybe some thought-provoking questions to go along with each card. Devotion from the sheep and the blackberry. Let's see what it's, if we start with, here we go. First one is the mouse and the buttercup. And the meaning is innocence. And I believe that's printed right on the card. Let's take a look here. Yes, it is. You can see down at the bottom there. Innocence is printed down at the bottom of the card. But this artwork is really stunning. I don't know about the rest of you, but buttercups, I feel like they've disappeared. I don't know if we had too much herbicide or something, but I remember when I was a kid growing up in the 80s, I would go on walks with my parents, and for some reason I feel like I always noticed them more when I was with my parents or with my grandparents, just, taking a stroll after a family meal or something. And I never noticed them as much when I was with my friends, probably because we were distracted by doing whatever fun, crazy adventure we were on. But just walking down the road with my grandparents, and my parents, and there would be buttercups along the side of, it seemed like, every road. And you'd pick them up, and they smelled amazing. And just these tiny little flowers, they had a little bit of a sheen to them. And I don't know, I feel like I don't see those anywhere anymore. And I grew up in this region, at least, where I live in the U.S., and so I don't think it's really that specific where they would still be located. But nevertheless, I don't see them anymore. So it's maybe I just need to slow down and be a little more careful in my looking as well. It's hard to say. Let's do an example there with just using that one. So, like the Fool in the tarot deck, the mouse and the buttercup is numbered 0. Both cards mark the start of a journey, and both remind us that we have much to learn. Mice are grounded and innocent, yet anyone who has dealt with a mouse in their house knows they are determined and highly adaptable. The mouse is paired with the humble buttercup, a symbol of childhood innocence. Look at that. Oh my. Have you ever held a buttercup under your chin? According to centuries-old children's game, if the reflection of the flower glows yellow on your skin, it reveals that you like butter. So for meanings, this apparently has reversals, which is, I don't know how common that is for oracle decks. Somebody maybe write in the comments if you're someone who reads oracle a lot, maybe you'll know. I don't read reversals for tarot, so I don't know if I would do it here. But so upright, you may be embarking on a journey or starting down a new path. Remember that innocence and a lack of understanding are not negative qualities. Instead, they remind us of our capacity for growth, adaptability, and learning. So a reversed meaning would be you may be unprepared for what you undertake. Consider how you might adapt and learn to better lay the groundwork for future endeavors. What do I hope to learn on this new path? What potential dangers should I look out for? Okay. So that is our card 0, mouse and buttercup. Have you ever held a buttercup to your chin to see if there's a reflection? I guess you'd have to have somebody else with you to see. And then it tells you if you like butter. Go figure. Here's the backs. Backs are very nice. Let me get a standard tarot card here for comparison's sake. Oh, here we go. So I think, as we would expect, it's a little bit taller and a little bit wider than a standard tarot. This is a vintage yellow box Rider-Waite Smith deck. So, all right. So what we'll do is have a little shuffle. It does say a little bit about the artist in here. Jessica doesn't want to focus now. Hello. Okay. Well, Jessica Rue is a Nashville-based freelance illustrator and author. She wrote a book called Floriography, an illustrated guide to the Victorian language of flowers. Great. So, have a little shuffle here, and we'll take a look at those readings, the spreads, since we saw that there was a spread section in the book. See if one of those seems appropriate for this evening. Do any of you remember buttercups? Or better question, I guess, would be, have you noticed a similar thing in your area? Maybe you saw buttercups years ago, but they're just not around anymore. So before I pose a question, take a quick look here and see what sort of spreads we might find. Suggested spreads. Page 11. By the way, the guidebook is 121 pages. Oh, here's the artist. Author bio. Jessica Rue. As a reader of tarot, she loves to include hidden symbolism inspired by the Rider-Waite Smith deck in her illustrations. Love that. That's great. Very fun. Okay. Back on task here. I see spreads. Okay. So we have daily practice at 1 card pool. Past, present, and future 3 card. Easy spread for beginners, but appropriate for anyone. The seasons 4 card pull. Similar to the past, present, and future reading, but each card represents a season in nature: winter, spring, summer, and fall. Start by shuffling and pulling a card for the current season. Next, pull a card for the previous season and place it to the left of the current season card. Then pull 2 cards for the upcoming 2 seasons. Place them to the right of the current season card. This reading can offer a more specific timeline than the past, present, and future reading, which leaves more room for interpretation. It really does, I guess, because are we just talking about what is expected to happen in the next season, or I tend to like to think about what should I be mindful of, not necessarily what. Because I mentioned before, my way of thinking about that tends to be that we might not get a specific outcome predicted by the cards, but we can certainly get food for thought, and we can get that in spades, and it can be, in my mind, that's the most powerful thing about it, is that it offers us some opportunity to think about maybe different aspects of what is to come that we weren't considering. There's, of course, a lot more to it than that, but and then we have the in combination with tarot 6-card pull, so we would get, looks like 3 tarot cards. I am curious what deck either the author or the publisher chose to use. If anybody recognizes those backs, because I'm a tarot nerd, I need to know what that deck is. So because I guess this would be the tarot card there, since these are the backs of the oracle. So whatever that deck is, prizes to the person who picks that up. That'd be interesting. It may say in here somewhere, but anyway. So that would be an option to mix it with tarot. I think that's the last one. Yep, that's the last one. So I think we'll do the 4-card pull. That seems like a fun one. So I think, obviously not a specific question here. We're just going to say, except for past season, what should we be aware of? What should we be mindful of in these seasons? So, and I just need to remember to put the current season down first, and then follow that with the past to the left, and then the next two. So let's take a look here. So I shuffled them already, but I'll do a few more while I think about these seasons in question. And for some reason I'm thinking I'd prefer this sort of pull on this instead of right off the top of the deck. For some reason that seems to be the way I want to do this here. So that will be this season. Previous season. And the next 2 seasons. Okay. And now that we have our cards, I can tell you the card stock on this is pretty nice. It's not super thick. It's very flexible, but it has a great feel to it. Sometimes the lighting puts a little bit more of a sheen on it than it actually has. So you may recognize that phenomenon from other decks that you've seen reviews on. Sometimes they look like they have a sheen, but it's not glossy. I can tell you, it's not a glossy deck. Okay, reposition a little bit here. So right now it is getting close to summer, but we're not quite there yet. We're still just at the tail end of spring. So let's think about, we will keep it in those terms. So we're gonna say that that we are still in spring. Okay, I had to double check myself there. I wanted to make sure because we are very close. Yeah, the first day of summer is the 21st of June. So we are still technically in spring. So we're going to call. So this will be our spring card. Then we have winter, summer, and autumn. So what should we be mindful of in these seasons? So the present. The elk and ash is number 8, and it's strength. That's the key word in this system. So let's take a look. Okay. Elk are colossal creatures crowned with substantial antlers. Known to cover great distances over difficult terrain, they are symbols of strength and endurance. Likewise, ash trees are sturdy and resolute, able to flourish even in harsh environments. Upright, you are called to gather your strength ahead of a challenge, face it with confidence in your own stamina. Tame any unruly elements that try to derail you. Reverse, you may feel overwhelmed in the face of a challenge that seems impossible to overcome. Call on your spirit of the elk and ash. Call on the spirit of elk and ash. Ask to be reminded of your own strength. Am I prepared to face upcoming challenges? How does inner strength differ from outer strength, and what situations call for each? So just some questions to contemplate related to that. So strength for the current season. And I do think that even though it's called out as a reverse meaning, I think we could draw on either of those, regardless of the position of the card, would be my feeling. But to each his or her own, and it's hard to say what the everybody's going to apply that a little differently. So for the winter, we have the ram and dahlia, determination. That is a beautiful card. So bear with me while I find that. Let's card L. So we are right toward the end. Okay. The ram and dahlia is a card of action. The ram charges up the mountain with steady determination, removing any obstacles with its strong horns. Called the queen of the autumn garden, the dahlia is known for its persistence. It produces flowers in the summer and well into the fall, outlasting most other blooms. Interesting to have that in the winter position. That's fun. So, upright meanings, you have the power to accomplish your wildest dreams. While others may tire or lose interest, you are persistent and will see your ambitions through. Alternatively, your stubbornness is hindering your progress. While ramming through may seem like the best and quickest way to achieve success, some endeavors require flexibility, regular reassessment, or help from others. What am I most determined to accomplish? And when have I worked best alone? And when have I benefited from others' help? Okay. Winter. Summer. The ladybug and sweet pea. Happiness. Okay. That's a fun thing to get for the season ahead, isn't it? Keep happiness in mind. And it's funny because you read that and you see this picture and it's just beautifully simple. And I'm encouraged actually to not read the guidebook. That's the funny thing. I don't want to spoil any freshness I get from that feeling of just seeing this card giving me that promise of happiness in the season to come, because that's pretty neat. We all need a little dose of that now and then, don't we? But I'm going to go ahead and read it anyway, because that's what we're here for, right? Okay. Symbols of good luck and fortune. Ladybugs are wonderful insects known to keep garden pests like aphids at bay. The sweet pea is a beautiful, scented climber. In the Victorian era, sweet peas were given to thank hosts for a lovely time. Combined, the ladybug and the sweet pea represent ease and happiness. Upright, you are entering a period of happiness, positivity, and good luck. Celebrate your joy by sharing it with others. And a reversal, beware of taking on too much. You may feel you have things under control, but the balance is delicate. Honor your limits and preserve a happy outlook. What brings me happiness? And how do I invite more joy into my life? Well, can't think of a better card to pull for the upcoming season than that. Delightful. So let's see what autumn might be. Well, this has an autumnal feel, doesn't it? The chipmunk and the laurel. Success. That's fun. Boy, that's just beautiful detail. Okay, that's number 7. Let's see what message that has for us. Okay. The chipmunk and the laurel symbolizes a new venture that will surely lead to success. The chipmunk often takes the road less traveled, finding hidden pathways and adventures along the way. The laurel is a symbol of victory, used to crown the winners in the ancient Olympic Games. Together, they tell us to take charge of our destiny, carve our own path, and find success. Upright, forge a unique path toward your desires. The road to achieving your goals is hardly ever straight and easy, but the journey is ultimately rewarding. In reverse, this can be a sign of stagnation. You may feel frustrated, stalled, or set back. Think about the clever and enterprising chipmunk. What lesser-known pathways could lead you to your goal? How might you redefine success? What successes in my life can I celebrate? And how can I carve my own path and live my truth? Okay. Well, that's a fun new tool to have in the toolkit. I really hope you enjoyed the little deck test drive here. This is great. This is just such a fun deck, and I'm really happy that I saw it on a few channels, including Krista's at the Adventures in Metaphysics. And I encourage you to check out her channel and her videos. This is a really fun deck. I'm excited to start working with it. And let me know your thoughts if this is one that you have and worked with. How's it working out for you? Do you use reversals? Is that something that that you incorporate into your oracle practice? I'd really like to know. Thanks a lot for watching. We'll see you on the next one.